What is going on, everybody? Super Yankee for Life here once again, and I am back doing something that I have not done in a very, very long time, and that is my NFL picks videos. I have not done these in 4 or 5 years, and I think that's mostly because YouTube, a while back, um, this was back like 4 or 5 years ago, I think, took away the webcam feature for desktop and laptop, which is how I'm recording this video right now, and I think on phones as well. So I wasn't able to record my picks videos anymore, and plus I was just kind of starting to teeter into other stuff like gaming and whatnot. And so I just stopped doing them, and but now I'm back. Now I'm back doing them. I don't know how they took away. I think the policy's still there, but anyway, their their stuff on YouTube is very weird. Their policies and whatnot. But anyway, we're not here to talk about YouTube or slander them too much. I'm here to talk about NFL picks for 2019 Week One. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna try to do this in depth. I'm also not gonna do the whole like spread type of thing. If you're one of those people that does the spread for the like games in Vegas, more power to you. But that's not what I do. All I'm doing is just picking who I think is going to win the damn game. that's all I'm doing. Uh, and real quick before I start my picks, I think the league, in my opinion, is in a very good place as far as parity is concerned. I think you can look at 4 teams in each conference that I think you can make a case for as far as making a trip to Miami for the first Sunday in February, competing for a championship. You look at the Patriots, you can look at the Chiefs. I think you look at the Chargers. Some may say the Browns could potentially go from being 0-16 a couple years ago to all the way into the championship this year. NFC, you got the Eagles, you got the Saints. Some people like the Rams. Some people like the Vikings. Green Bay possibly could be in that mix. Chicago, I think the NFC is a little bit more deeper than the AFC as far as like teams that can compete for a title. But I still like the parity overall in the NFL. It's in a very healthy place, in my opinion. So with that being said, we're going to go right into the picks. And starting with the Thursday night game between Green Bay and Chicago, I will make a quick point here. I don't like the fact that the defending champions, the Patriots, are not playing in this game on Thursday night. I'm more of a traditionalist when it comes to stuff like that. It's not a deal breaker. I just prefer the fact that prefer to have. I think they did it because of just they wanted to mix it up or just fatigue because they're tired of having to feature the Patriots on Thursday night for the first game of the year. Or maybe that's just a bullshit reason, but whatever. Anyway, Green Bay and Chicago, oldest rivalry in the league. I'll go with the Packers on the road. I think I like what I see, but I think I like what I could see potentially from this new relationship between Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers. So I'll go with the Packers to win. Tennessee and Cleveland, I'll go with the Browns. Like I said before, a lot of hype, a lot of anticipation to see what this team can do for Cleveland with all the new pieces they added together for the Browns. But I think defensively, more so their offense, I think defensively, this is where this team will have a breakout. I think Myles Garrett could very well be Defensive Player of the Year when it's all said and done. So I'll go with the Browns. Atlanta and Minnesota. I didn't mention the Falcons before, but I think they could potentially be a team to look out for in 2019. Maybe I think the Saints will win the NFC South, but I think the Falcons could be a team that can slip in as a 5 seed or a 6 seed even as a wild card and make a deep playoff run and be right there for a chance to play in the Super Bowl. But because I really like what I saw from Matt Ryan last year, I think it was kind of a wasted year for him, really, because their defense was so bad and it was riddled with injuries. But I think they'll be better this year, and I will actually pick the Falcons to go into Minnesota here and beat the Vikings in this game. Buffalo and the Jets. I looked at the Jets' schedule, and I see a team that could easily win at least 10 games. But this is the Jets we're talking about. This doesn't work that easy for the Jets. So um, we'll see. We'll see what they have in store for us in 2019. But I will pick them to beat the Bills at least because the Bills are just absolutely terrible. So the Jets will easily be the second best team in the AFC East in 2019, which is unfortunately not saying much. Washington and Philadelphia, I'll go with the Eagles. They have the best roster in the league, with arguably the best play calling in the league, with the best head coach, offensive head coach in the league. Um, we'll see if Carson Wentz can stay healthy. We'll see if he can for a full year. We'll see what he can offer as far as like his progression in his career. Washington, I mean, there's talk of maybe starting Dwayne Haskins over Case Keenum. But this team's not making the playoffs, so I guess it really wouldn't hurt to start Haskins, but I would start Keenum first. And if he stinks up the joint, then you make the switch to Haskins. But I'll go with the Eagles. Regardless of who starts in this game, I'll go with the Eagles to win. Rams and the Panthers. I'm not sold on Jared Goff. And apparently the Rams are, which is why they just gave him a new contract extension, and he's a very rich man. I got nothing against the guy personally. He got his money, mazel tov to him, but I just don't think he's very good as a quarterback. I think you need a complete offensive system around him for him to be adequate, but I don't think that's going to be enough now because they're going to expect him to be better than adequate. They expect him to be very, very good, if not great, for him to put up maybe Patrick Mahomes numbers from a year ago. I just don't think he has that in him. He has a great offense, like I said before. He has that great offensive system around him with great players around him, but I just don't think it's enough. If this game were in Los Angeles, I might swing the pendulum towards the Rams, but because it's in Carolina, I'll go with the Panthers. They've got their issues at quarterback, but not really the same issues. They have more issues about keeping Cam Newton healthy. But I think Cam Newton will be healthy enough to play. I think Ron Rivera even said he's gonna play in week 1 regardless. So I'll go with the Panthers to win here. Kansas City and Jacksonville. I'll go with the Chiefs. I think Jacksonville's window has closed, even though they have their new quarterback, who I don't think is very good, as well as Jared Goff. I think Nick Foles needs, much like Jared Goff, I think he needs an offensive system around him that complements what he can do. They don't have that in Jacksonville. They have it in Philadelphia, which is why he succeeded in Philadelphia, but they don't have it in Jacksonville. So I'll go with the Chiefs to win here. Baltimore and Miami. I want to feel bad for Dolphins fans, but then again, you guys live in Miami, so I really don't. You guys have it pretty well made. I'll go with Baltimore to win here, to be in the year 1-0. Baltimore's another team that could potentially be in that running for a Super Bowl berth, but it's all going to be based on whether or not Lamar Jackson can take that next step as a passer. He's electric. He can run the ball very well, but he's got to be able to show. And I think he's an upgrade instantly from Joe Flacco, which is not saying much, but I think he's got to show what he can do throwing the football. Indianapolis and the Chargers. I'll go with Chargers. Jacoby Brissett's making his first start in over 2 years. I don't see this ending very well for him. I think he'll be fine going forward. I think he's a more than suitable replacement for Andrew Luck. He's not the caliber of Andrew Luck, but I think he's no pushover. But going up against Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, that's not very good. That's not something I wouldn't want to deal with. Cincinnati and Seattle. I'll go with the Seahawks. I think Seattle has to be also in that contendership for making a deep playoff run for a Super Bowl. Like I said before, a lot of teams in both conferences. I think you can. There's, like I said, a lot of parity in the NFL, in my opinion. The Giants and the Cowboys. Dallas got Zeke back. They signed to a new extension. That's great, but it doesn't make them Super Bowl contenders whatsoever. What will make them Super Bowl contenders this year will be Dak Prescott's progression and whether or not Jason Garrett can stop being incompetent at his coaching tendencies. They have a new offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore, which I have not seen any of their preseason games, and so it's kind of hard for me to gauge whether or not he's better or an upgrade than Scott Linehan. He has to be. I think he would have to be an upgrade from Scott Linehan, but we'll see. We'll see where they go from here. Detroit and Arizona. I'm not going to talk too much about this because both teams are not going anywhere. I'll give the check mark to the Lions. Would it surprise me if Arizona wins this? Absolutely not. But I don't care because, like I said, both teams are not going anywhere. I'll be interested to see how Kyler Murray plays in his debut with Cliff Kingsbury as their new head coach. But yeah, both teams are probably going to be dead last in their respective divisions in 2019. San Francisco and Tampa Bay. I'll give the check mark to Tampa Bay. Both quarterbacks in this game are just not. I don't think are very good. But I think Bruce Arians, has a better offensive skill position set talent than San Francisco. Excuse me. I'll go with the Buccaneers here. I think if Bruce Arians can somehow turn Jameis Winston into an MVP candidate, they need to give him a contract extension immediately, because Bruce Arians will have been a saint to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with both quarterbacks in this game. Jimmy Garoppolo, we'll see if he can be the quarterback we all expect him to be, and what the Niners expect him to be, especially because they paid him a lot of money, and he's got to be better. And now he tore his ACL last year in week 3, so we didn't get a really good sample size of what he can really be as a full-time starter in this league. But we'll see what happens in this game. This is a game that no one's talking about, but a game that I think people need to pay a little bit more attention to because of who's involved, the quarterbacks involved, the head coaches that are involved. Excellent play callers, both Kyle Shanahan and Bruce Arians are two very good at their craft. So definitely a game to look out for. Pittsburgh and New England, the Sunday Night Football game. I'll go with the Patriots, and they have to be the favorites in the AFC and to reach the Super Bowl. Even though I will personally pick the Chiefs to make it there, it will obviously, if you think the Patriots are still going to go back there again for the fourth year in a row. I mean, it's astonishing if they pull it off. I think they'll be the first team since the Buffalo Bills in the 90s to pull this off, and if they do, mazel tov to them. They've been the toast of the NFL for almost 2 decades, and they find a way. They find a way to take what you do well, and they maximize it. They do it better than any team in the league. It's bizarre to see, but at the same time, it's easy to see why this team has been the toast of the league for close to 20 years. And for Pittsburgh, I think this could be a transitional year, in my opinion. I know people are still expecting this team to win the AFC North. I don't expect that to happen. I think Big Ben will still play well enough to give them a chance, but I don't like their roster. They alienated their 2 best offensive players, which is not very good. To me, I think Pittsburgh may need to start thinking about the future at the quarterback position and whether or not Mason Rudolph can be that and whether or not Ben Roethlisberger has enough left. Now we go to the Monday Night Football games. Houston and New Orleans. I'll go with the Saints. Many people are expecting the Saints to be the favorites coming out of the NFC. I can see that happening. I can see why people will feel that way. Houston, Deshaun Watson, I think, is really good, but they got to get protection for him. And now I understand they traded for what's his name? Is his name Larry Tunsil? I think that's his name, or Laramie, or is it Larry or Laramie? I forget. I'm so bad with names, which is going to help. And any either way you name him, it's going to help Deshaun Watson stay on his feet because this guy just takes so much abuse, and some of it is on him not getting rid of the football, but their offensive line and pass protection is just absolutely not very good whatsoever. Um, so yeah, I'll go with the Saints to win this game. I think if this game was in Houston, maybe would swing it towards the favor of the Texans, but I'll go with the Saints here in the Superdome. And finally, Denver and Oakland. Both teams are going absolutely nowhere. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Joe Flacco's terrible. Derek Carr, no, is it? Yeah, Derek Carr. Derek Carr's not that much better, but I'll go with Oakland because I need Antonio Brown to have a big day for my fantasy team. So yeah, those are my picks. I apologize if I was rambling a little too much or repeating some stuff. I haven't done this in a long while. So as I start doing these more in the coming weeks and months, I will start to feel a little bit more comfortable in my picks and maybe going a little bit more in depth as the season goes on. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, Super Yankee for Life signing off. Peace.